Welcome to the channel. We teach trading the Micro E-minis here. In today's featured trade, which is coming up right away, I'm going to show you how I made a very handsome profit in a very short trade. It's only a minute and a half long. And you're going to see how the free software I use puts everything about the trade on one page. It makes it faster and a lot easier. Today, in this trade coming up, I'm going to do something I've never done in 160 videos. It happens to all of us when we're trading. We get out of a trade with a profit and we immediately wonder, did I get out of the trade at the right time? Could I have done better? I mentioned to you already, it's going to be a quick trade. I opted to get out after only about 90 seconds. I took the quick money. But could I have done better? I'm going to give you a chance. I'll leave the chart running and you tell me how much money you would have made. When would you have exited this trade? It's going to be interesting, I promise. I came into the office on a Friday afternoon, 21st of April, 2023, a Friday. If you're new to the channel, I always start these featured trades with a setup page. Why did I pick this trade? Why now? What is it I expect? It's easy to see the market from 9:30 all the way up until 2 o'clock climbed pretty much all day. So I came into the office a few minutes before 3 o'clock and I see at 2 o'clock a precipitous decline happen. It seems like the market's giving back the gains of all day. Not an entirely unusual thing on a Friday afternoon. Now on the financial channels, when they see something like this, they say, well, Jake, looks like traders are taking their profits. They don't want to hold their positions over the weekend. I don't know if it's true or not, but it sounds good, right? Now, I want to show you what stood out about this chart to me when I looked at it. The yellow highlighted area there is from 9:30 until 2 o'clock, a long period of time. Look how many red and green candlesticks are next to each other. That means a lot of price reversals, right? Now, the red arrow on the right and the purple rectangle shows for the last hour we've had almost solid red candlesticks all the way down. Now, can I know with certainty prices are going to continue to go down? No, absolutely not. But I do know that I feel, based on my experience and what I see on the charts, that it's probably a better than 50-50 bet prices will continue to go down. I don't know that, but that's what this trading's all about. You always have to make decisions before you have all the facts. That's what you signed up for. Aha, but it also means something else. But based on what's been happening the last hour, I see an opportunity. I probably will not have to risk very much money to find out if this downtrend will continue or not. So I'm in. I'm going to short a contract and put a very close stop loss on it. Now, based on what I see on the chart, I decided I did not want to go down to the MACD and play Jedi mind games with it. I'm just going to go by what I see on the chart. Warren Buffett said there seems to be some perverse human characteristic that likes to make easy things difficult. And Jimmy Buffett said when life gives you limes, make margaritas. This is your official invitation to join our almost 20,000 subscribers. Now, let's go make some money. Okay, we're over to the live screen now, and you can see right in the circle there, the 3 o'clock candlestick right there. Then I go over and hit my trade button and also the bracket button, and I can now enter my entry, stop, and the target price and send the trade out. Now you may notice I don't take a lot of time to fill out these entry, stop, and target price. It doesn't matter what you put in for the target price. The market doesn't care. For the entry price, well, you know, beginners say, well, I'm going to put it $2 off and I'll start off a little bit ahead. But I found out over the years, it doesn't make any difference, really. Just go ahead and hit the button. Whether you're up or down 1 point will not make much difference at all. So I decided to sell one contract at 13,092 with a limit order instead of my usual market order. And I put the stop up at 13,097. That's 5 points away from the entry price. So my maximum risk here is only $10. You never know how much money you could make on a trade. You can hope and you can calculate and do all those things, but the market's going to do what the market does. Notice when I entered this trade, it was on one simple idea. I wanted to risk as little as possible to see if this downtrend will continue. Now, I just want to be clear, I would not have risked $20, $30, or $40 on a trade like this. I just didn't feel the probability was there. But I'm getting a little bit of good news here. I'm trading down to 13,088. I take my tasty trade mouse, my trusty mouse, and slide that down with that click and drag left mouse button there. And I put a stop down at 13,093.75. Well, now my risk is only 1 3/4 points. That's $3.50. So you see, I was willing to pay $10 for the trade. Now I'm only willing to pay $3.50 to stay in it. I just locked in a profit of $6, so now I've got that free trade. I know it's not free, but that's how I think of it when I have my stop down, so I cannot lose any money out of my account. To me, that's a free trade. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Just took the mouse, moved it down again this time, and it was only a little bit, but hey, locked in $10.50. And now the third or fourth time here, I have my tasty trade mouse out again. And the price is really going down. I just locked in $16.50 on the trade. And so I'm very happy with the way things are going. And now, tasty trade mouse getting a workout today. I moved my stop this time down to 13,081.5. When you're new to trading, this is going to seem really, really fast to you, no doubt. But with experience, you calm down a little bit. And remember, I'm not risking any money at all now, so I'm in full control of my emotions during the trade. Okay, tasty trade mouse out again. I move it all the way down this time to 13,076.75, and immediately I'm stopped out with a nice profit. So let's count the money. Well, you probably noticed on that trade, I didn't cut it any slack at all. I followed it all the way down. I kept my stop very, very close to the trading price with that tasty trade mouse. And the reason was the money was money found almost. It was such an easy trade just to follow it on down. Almost no drawdown, just $3.50 in the first 15 seconds or so of the trade. And the whole thing didn't last, my trade log says a minute, but it was really about 90 seconds on there. Average hourly wage, $25.50 in the USA. And we made that and a little bit more in about 90 seconds. Now, that's not really a fair comparison. I know that. It doesn't take into account all the time you gather experience and read and study and look for trades and things like that. But it's still fun to play with. 5.78% on my money in only 90 seconds. I like that. One of the ideas that many traders have is that the better trader you are, the more likely you are to make more money per trade. That may be true, but the real question is this. Is it more likely you'll make more money by having single contract trades or by taking multiple contract trades? To examine this idea, I will ask you one more question. Is it more likely in a one contract trade you will make $30.50 or $152.50? Of course, the answer to this question is that you'll make the $30 profit more often than the $150 profit. Now, I want to go back and look at this axiom on the page again. The longer you stay in a trade, the more risk exposure you have. The longer you walk in the rain, the wetter you will get. But this is counterintuitive because that isn't necessarily true. For example, the trade you just saw, I used a stop loss to bring the risk down in the trade 6 or 7 times during the trade. Obviously, as I moved the stop loss down, my profits were getting larger and my risk was going down. Until you fully realize this as you trade, as the old adage goes, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Let me make this point again in a different way. You have control over the amount of risk in a trade, how much money you're going to risk to let that trade go on. What you cannot control during a trade is the profit potential. Now, every time before you enter a trade, you can pick one trade to make over others. So you're simply looking for a better probability of profit in a trade. But once you enter the trade, that's it. Game on. As they say in West Texas, you got to dance with the one who brung you. Now, if you don't share my opinion, that's fine. That's okay. We all have to develop our own individual styles that work for us. Nobody else is going to pay our losses. If you truly understand this point, then you understand why you're tying one hand behind your back if you go in with a 3-to-1 ratio to determine a stop loss. You have to be flexible during the trade. That flexibility is power for you during the trade. I'm going to take today's featured trade and put it under the microscope right now. Candlestick's course 5 minutes wide. At the moment I entered the trade, a few seconds after 3 o'clock, this red candlestick was green when I shorted the contract at 13.092, just a few seconds after 3 o'clock. 90 seconds later, only 90 seconds, I covered the trade at 13.076 3/4. Candlestick was actually green during the trade, but then turned red after the trade. I hope you're having an aha moment, because what we all do is go back and look at the static, the unchanging chart after the trade and judge ourselves on what we did. But you got to remember, the candlestick you see during the trade is not the same one that's on the chart after the trade. A profound realization. You're looking at a chart after the trade, or maybe you're looking at a chart from 4 days ago and saying, oh boy, I could have made a lot of money in that trade. But what you're looking at is history, and it's static. It doesn't move. During the trade, those candlesticks are dynamic, and they're constantly changing. So when you judge yourself with the genius of hindsight, I think you have to rethink that idea. The chart after the trade is already long gone. 6 minutes ago, I closed the trade. But it seems to say pretty easy that I could have made $70 on the trade by the figures you see on the screen. But truly, the candlesticks are dynamic, and that's what you have to deal with when you're actually trading. Example of how you can be deceived by the charts when they're no longer changing. On the screen here, it's 7 minutes after I close the trade, and I have a caption up there that reads, my unrealized gain here would have been 35 points or $70, and that's at the very low for that candlestick at 13.057. But in truth, we don't know by looking at the information in front of us at this particular moment how long the market was at 13.057. If it was for 1/10 of a second, there's probably no way I could have made that trade and get out of it at 13.057. We don't know from looking at the chart how long that price was available. So charts can be deceptive. And you have to give yourself the benefit of a doubt if you're trying to judge yourself with the genius of hindsight, because the chart you use to do it, once the trade is over, can be very deceptive. Let me tell you why this is so very, very important. If you see a chance to make a trade there and you judge yourself because you didn't trade out at 13.057, and you assume that you would have had that opportunity, you're putting false information into your memory bank. And if you use that to change your behavior, it's not productive. It's that simple. Say it again in a very simple way. If you're using the genius of hindsight to inform your brain, your memory, on your future actions, you're making a mistake. You are simply using false assumptions to inform your future behavior. Now, what I'm going to say next may bring you some relief. When you go back and look at charts of previous days, weeks, and months, and you say, oh boy, I see how I easily could have made so much money, you're looking at a chart of what happened. You're looking at history. You're not looking at the dynamics of the moments during the trade. That in the green box, my unrealized gain here would have been 35 points or $70. The statement is true, but I can't tell from the information available there that it was even possible, can I? Now let me tell you something that is true. Anytime I make $30.50 in 90 seconds, I'm okay with that. I'm going to keep the post-trade live screen going for a few more minutes on the right half of your screen. I need your help with something. If you want to see another video similar to the one you've seen today, please hit the like button. I tally those. It helps me get together good points and subjects to put into the future videos, so I appreciate your help on that. Thank you. Got a free trade simulation program, no credit cards or ads in it. We got a beginner's playlist, lots of videos, playlists, and things to help you learn. And while you're checking out that text below the video, check the book link down there so you can see the table of contents of my book. It's a very short book, and I try to use the same type of simple, direct language you hear here in the videos. And I promise you, it's a great way for you to learn faster and easier because it tells you the difference very quickly between what's important and what isn't. And that will speed your learning up. So you won't miss the new videos when they come up. Hit that subscribe button and the alarm notification bell, and you'll be notified when we put the new ones up. Thank you for that. I'm Don Singletary. Thanks for being here today, and I hope every day is a payday for you. And thank you.